Good afternoon and welcome to the Tennessee Association of Collegiate Registrars and Admissions Officers Virtual College Fair. Thank you for joining us. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so the presenters cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions happening, so be sure to sign up for additional sessions at the same website where you registered for this one. And this presentation is being recorded and will be available within a few days at strivescan.com/Tennessee. I'd now like to turn it over to our presenters, and we'll begin this evening with Marymount Manhattan University.
Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. My name is Emma. I am one of the admission counselors here at Marymount Manhattan College, and I specifically work with all students from Tennessee. I am actually an alumna as well from Marymount, so I graduated in 2018 and started working in the admissions office directly after that. So the first thing you need to know about MMC is that we're a small school in one of the biggest cities in the country. We are right in the middle of New York City in Manhattan. That top pin you see with our logo is where our main campus is located on the Upper East Side. We are an undergraduate only institution with a little under 2,000 undergraduates. So every class you take at Marymount is capped at 25 students. So while you're in New York City and you of course have hundreds of opportunities surrounding you, all of our classes are kept small and you have an 11-to-1 student faculty ratio. So you're still in a tight-knit community while being in a city with endless opportunities. We also have 2 residence halls, those second and third blue logos that you see on the map, which are all apartment style. So students are welcome to get their own apartment if they prefer, or to live in one of our apartment style resident halls. But our campus itself is one location. So you're still in a campus, albeit an urban campus, and you still have that tight-knit community. This is a summary of our different majors and most of our minors here at Marymount. We do have other concentrations and majors and minors that aren't shown here as we are constantly updating our different major offerings, but this is more or less all the different departments and areas of study we have. We are also a great option for any student who is interested in double majoring or studying multiple things, as we have a policy called double dipping, where one class can count towards multiple requirements at the same time. So say you want to study both dance and biology, an anatomy and physiology class, for example, could count towards both majors at once, or a class could count towards a major and a gen ed requirement at once. So you're never going to only be studying one thing, but rather getting a very well-rounded education. In addition to that, we have hundreds of internship opportunities and other on-campus opportunities such as research, work study, etc. So whether you're just earning some extra money to get you through college or you want to boost your resume towards your career, we're always happy to help you do that. And like I said, we have endless different internship opportunities being in New York, but even more so, our small class sizes allow you to really connect with the faculty and have access to their fields. All of our faculty at Marymount are required to be involved in their fields, so they're required to have different scholarships going on at the same time that they're teaching, so you really have those connections. In addition, we have our City Edge program, which is a program at Marymount that works to connect New York City with your education. So for example, all first-year students are in a class where you learn about your field of interest by exploring the city and going on different site visits. So for admission, we have a pretty standard admission process and we are test optional. We are test optional this year and we are planning to continue that for at least next year and likely further years. We did that as soon as the pandemic hit and so far we've been really happy with it. So any freshmen or sophomores, though it's not official yet, you can anticipate that we will be test optional. And we have the standard 3 application plan. So early decision, if you're 100% sure Marymount's your top choice, early action, which is non-binding, and regular decision, which is also non-binding. The requirements are also pretty standard. You need your transcripts, 1 recommendation letter, an essay, and we're always happy to waive the application fee if necessary. So our tuition and fees, we are one of the more affordable private colleges in New York City. Our ticket price with tuition and housing comes to a little over 55,000 per year. However, that's the ticket price. So that's before any scholarship and aid are applied. And we do have a very wide range. So some students who have very high need, who get a good merit scholarship, maybe an external scholarship, get that cost down lower than it would be for a state school. That has in-state tuition. So I know that's a big concern for law students coming from Tennessee. However, we do often work with you to get a price that's competitive with what you would be getting in-state. And I believe I'm getting within a minute of my time, so I'm going to leave you there. That is the fee waiver for any current seniors who want to apply. We are still accepting applications. And of course, be sure to take down my contact info. I'm always happy to answer questions.
Great, thank you so much, Emma. Our next presentation this evening comes to us from SUNY Cortland.
Hey everyone, my name is Alyssa Ackerman and I am a senior admissions advisor here at SUNY Cortland. Let me just get this full screen for you. So what is SUNY? SUNY is the State University of New York. We are the largest university system in the nation with 64 total schools. We are located in upstate New York, so about 4 hours from the previous school. A little different scenario. We are in upstate New York, so it's going to be more of an urban or rural setting, excuse me. We are about 45 minutes from Syracuse and then about 40 minutes from Binghamton. So between those two, we have a lot of different colleges in the area. So there's always events, bus trips, different things to do geared towards that college age student. We are the #1 safest campus in the state of New York. We have gained that title 2 years in a row now, and we're pretty proud of it. I was a student and never felt unsafe on campus. We do have the blue light system. So all of our telephone poles do have a blue light system that connects you directly with our university police department, and they will be with you at your location within 2 to 3 minutes, which is always nice to know if you ever feel unsafe on campus or walking to your car. And then we do have students representing 34 states and 47 countries. I am the out-of-state recruiter, so I recruit from a variety of different states. So if there is any questions that you have, you can always contact me. As far as our overall size, we've got about 7,000 students on campus. We are a small to medium-sized school in New York. We've got about 1,200 first-year students each fall and 600 transfers each fall. We do receive about 15,000 freshman applications each and every year. Just something I like to mention so that if you do apply and it is taking a little while for us to get a decision back to you, that is why we do go through a lot of applications each year. The average class size is going to be about 23, and the student to faculty ratio is 16 to 1. We do have some lecture style halls, which are going to be hold about 200 to 300 students. But as you get into your major, they're going to be closer to that 20 to 23 range. All of our classes are taught by a professor with the help of a student teacher's assistant. So you're never going to have a class that's only taught by a student. Our professors teach all of our classes, and they all have office hours after classes and through the week to answer any questions or to host study groups or anything of that nature to help our students really succeed. Sorry. So our first year admissions criteria for our freshman students is going to be 4 years of English and history, 3 years of math and science, and 3 years of foreign language. For our out-of-state students, we know that you generally only are required to take 2 years of foreign language, and we can be flexible with that. Whatever your high school requires of you to graduate, that's what we will accept for all of our out-of-state students. And then we are test optional. We were this past year. And again, we can hope to continue to be test optional. We are just waiting for the SUNY administration to make that decision. It's going to be either all of us or none of us will be test optional. So we're really hoping that all of us will be test optional in the next coming years. So you do not need to submit any SAT or ACT scores to us. If you do submit them, we will not look at them. We are completely test optional. As far as student expenses, what's important to look at here is the Future New Yorker Award that is given to all of our out-of-state students, and that's going to be $7,500 per year, and that is automatic. If you live out of state, you will receive that. I mean, it really brings that total cost down to what about what our in-state students are paying. It's about a $2,000 difference, which is awesome. And then in your junior and senior year, if you remain living on campus, you receive an extra $2,000, bringing that award up to $9,500 per year, which is pretty cool to have free money. We also have additional scholarships, merit-based on your grades. And then we have some endowed scholarships from our alumni and professors and different members of our community who have donated money that's not based on just your need and not based on just your grades. There's some for majors, from location, for our out-of-state students. So there's a lot of variety of scholarships offered. We are a liberal arts school, so we do have a lot of different majors kind of across the board. You'll see we have a lot of teacher certification programs. We originally opened as a education school and have kind of grown from there. So we are pretty well known for our education program. I have a little asterisks next to some of our more popular majors as well, but they all have something unique to give to our students: psychology, sports management, speech and hearing science, fitness development, business economics, and our musical theater are some of our more popular with our out-of-state students, but they're all awesome majors with most of our professors have worked in the field or are doing research in the field. So it's really awesome to have a lot of hands-on experience. We do have a ton of internship opportunities. Our alumni like to be very involved, and so they love to hire or even have internships or externships with our alumni or our current students. We have a partnership with the NFL. We did used to host the New York Jets training camp. So we have a lot of our interns there with ABC Network, with Walt Disney World, and then a lot of different opportunities in New York City and Washington, D.C. as well. We have over 80 student clubs. We have a club for each of our majors and minors. We have different Greek life. We have Model UN. We have a student-run newspaper, radio show, podcast, magazine, a lot of things all over campus. It only takes 3 students and a faculty member to create a club. So there's always new things coming on campus. We are a D3 school, so we have 25 D3 varsity teams. We also have club sports and intramural sports. So whatever level you want to play sports at, you certainly can here at SUNY Cortland. You don't have to, not all of our students play. And then we have 131 national championships and continue to gain more each and every year. The Student Life Center is one of our newest buildings on campus. It is a gorgeous fitness facility. We have an indoor track, indoor lap pool, hot tub, rock climbing wall. We have a cycling studio, CrossFit gym, yoga, meditation. And then we have some open rooms for kickboxing classes, Zumba. And then all of our fitness classes are taught by our current students in fitness development, which is pretty cool. And it's free to all students. But I see my time is up. Here's my contact information. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Great, thank you so much. Our next presentation this evening comes to us from Rochester Institute of Technology.
Well, hello and welcome. I'm so glad you were able to join us this evening. My name is Sarah Burke, and I am the admissions representative from the Rochester Institute of Technology that covers Tennessee. And I am delighted to be with you here tonight. I actually live in North Carolina, so I do get over to Tennessee in great regularity when we're not in the middle of a pandemic. But I wanted to share with you some of the exciting things about RIT. First and foremost, about our community. RIT is a much larger school than a lot of people realize. We are nearly 19,000 on all 4 of our campuses, and about 17,000 of those students are on the main campus in Rochester. We're one of the largest private universities in the country, and we're primarily an undergraduate university or campus with almost 14,000 undergraduate students. We have students from all over the world, all 50 states. They come to us, 2,600 international students, but we still have a small campus feel with a student to faculty ratio of 13:1, and our average class size is 22 students. And how do we do that? Well, the way that happens is that there are 9 colleges at RIT. So while it's a really big university, your college is going to be much more like a smaller college. And those 9 colleges, one of them that is our crown jewel, is the National Technical Institute of the Deaf. And that gives us about 1,000 deaf and hard of hearing students on our campus. And that's just one of our 9 colleges. We offer more than 90 degree programs and over 100 minors. We're nearing 50 accelerated dual degree programs at this time. But the ones, everybody knows RIT for STEM, engineering and computing, but I wanted to just share with you some of our niche programs that people just don't realize we have, like museum studies, imaging science, mechatronics, ceramics, metal and jewelry design, furniture design. We have direct entry programs for both med school and law. We have some health sciences programs and ultrasound and a PA program. So we're much more than just engineering and computing, even though those are the 2 largest colleges at RIT. We are one of only 9 national universities recognized by US News for both all co-op internships and undergraduate research. And you can see that we belong to a pretty prestigious group here. But the flagship of RIT is our co-op program. Our co-op program was started in 1912. So we've been doing co-op for a very long time. Most students ask, what is co-op? Well, co-op is a little different than internship. And when we refer at RIT to the term co-op, that means that it is full-time paid work that is in your field of study, and it's a requirement of your academic department and a requirement of graduation. All of our engineering, technology, computing, and business programs require students to co-op as a part of their academic profile when they're at RIT. All other students in the College of Science, Liberal Arts, College of Art and Design, College of Health Science and Technology, as well as NTID, do internships on a very regular basis. So 4,500 students completed more than 6,200 co-ops just last year alone, and we have almost 4,000 employer partners around the globe. 94% of our employers say if they had a full-time opportunity, they would hire one of our co-op students. But where co-op really comes into play is in our outcome rate. We have a 94% outcome rate across all 9 colleges. If you look at the College of Engineering or College of Computing, that number is much, much higher. And what that means is that our students are hired either full-time, they go on to graduate study, usually a PhD program, or military service, or like the Peace Corps, within 6 months of graduation. So we have a very good track record of careers at RIT, and you'll see just a few of the companies that we work with all over the United States. And to learn more, you can go to joboutlook.rit.edu. As I mentioned, undergraduate research is a very big thing at RIT. And because we're primarily an undergraduate institution, that provides our undergraduate students with boundless opportunities of research that you don't get on campuses that are much more heavily engaged with graduate study. We also have a big push for entrepreneurship. We have the Simone Center for Innovation and the new Magic Center. And there's a student incubator. A brand new building is being built as we speak that will open in 2022, I believe. And it's our new makerspace. And the students at RIT are actually in a competition right now to come up with the craziest name they can for that particular building. We also offer study abroad and global opportunities. We have 4 campuses, one in China, one in Croatia, one in Kosovo, one in Dubai, and then of course the main campus at Rochester. And students study abroad in about 55 countries, but also you can work abroad and still fulfill your co-op requirement, as well as getting that global experience. The Combined Accelerated Pathways program has been around for quite a while at RIT. You can earn 2 degrees in the less time that it would take you to earn both a bachelor's and a master's degree. All of our engineering programs are 5-year degree programs because there's 1 year of co-op built into that, in addition to the 4 years of academics. And in the accelerated programs, you can actually finish with an engineering Bachelor of Science degree, as well as a master's degree, as well as completing 3 co-ops instead of 4. Campus life is very, very vibrant at RIT with over 300 active clubs and hundreds of annual events when we're not in a pandemic. But this year they've managed to pull off quite a bit of activity while keeping students very safe. We have 24 varsity sports. We play at the Division III level in the Liberty League in the state of New York. Our hockey programs for both men and women hockey, though, are in the Division I category, and they play in the Atlantic Hockey Association. You'll see just a smattering here of the different kinds of clubs and intramurals activities that go on, and there's always something for somebody to do. We're here to help. We want you to connect with admissions. We are test optional as well. We have been test optional. We have no plans to go back to test required. I'm available to give you much more information if you need it. I'm happy to do that and can go over the timeline. Our timelines are not any different as far as applications as most of the universities that you're going to hear from tonight. And I thank you for your time. And if there's anything at all that I can help you with, by all means, just go ahead and pop it right into the chat. Thank you so much.
Great, thank you so much. And that's a great reminder as we're about halfway through our presentations that the Q&A is available if you have questions, and certainly specific ones for a given institution or broader ones for all of our presenters are welcome. Up next, I'm pleased to welcome Pace University. And you are muted.
Thank you so much. So my name is Juanita. I'm one of the admission counselors at Pace University. I'm also an alumna of the university. I'm also a current student, so definitely a great source for a lot of information for you all. So to tell you a little about the university, we do have 2 New York locations. We're located in downtown Manhattan. We are about a 5-10 minute walk from Wall Street. It's definitely prime real estate for our business students because we do have a lot of really great internship opportunities within walking distance of our campus building. This campus is home to about 3,000 undergraduate students on this campus. We do have 4 dormitories, 2 freshman dorms and 2 upperclassmen dorms. So we do have dorms available for our students. You are welcome to dorm for all 4 years with us. And then all of our dorms are also within walking distance, so definitely our students don't have to worry about going uptown, downtown into Brooklyn. The furthest you ever have to go is 5 New York City blocks from our main building to get to one of our dormitories. Our Rochester campus is home to our other campus. Our other location is in Pleasantville, New York, I should say. It is spread over 200 acres of land, and this is your more traditional college campus. Green grass, trees, real birds that chirp, not pigeons and concrete jungles like in the city. So this is definitely your more traditional college campus. This is a perfect experience for a student that wants to be close to New York City but still have that traditional college experience. On this campus, we have 6 dormitories, 2 freshman dorms, and 4 upperclassmen dorms. And again, we do guarantee housing for all 4 years on this campus. This campus also has a shuttle that goes to the New York City campus several times during the day. So students do have the opportunity to head into the city for classes with that shuttle, or they're welcome to take the Metro North, which is our train system down into the city. So the students do have the option of either or environment while they are with us during their 4 years. One of the unique things about PACE is the PACE path. And so what the PACE path is this 4-year customized plan that combines our strong academics, our dedicated mentors and advisors, and our career building internships. It's essentially your plan to get you from your point A, which is your freshman year, to your point B, which is graduation, and all of the fun stuff you're going to do in between to get you where you want to be by the time that you're graduating. So is it going to be maybe majoring, double majoring, majoring and minoring, majoring and triple minoring? Is it going to be having a particular mentor or advisor? Is it going to be maybe doing 2, 3, 4, 5 internships while you're with us? Maybe it's a specific internship. Maybe you didn't want to study abroad, but now you do. So all of these fun things that are going to get you where you need to go by the time you are ready to graduate with us. We do offer over 150 majors, minors, accelerated and combined degree programs. So our academics are that kind of first pillar of that PACE path. We have 6 different schools of study. So we have the College of Health Professions, Dyson College of Arts and Sciences, our Lubin School of Business, the School of Education, our Steinenberg School of Computer Science and Information Systems, and our Elizabeth Hobbs School of Law, which houses our 3-in-3 program, 3 years of undergraduate, 3 years of law school, years done in 6 instead of 7. So definitely our students who take advantage of getting done with law school a little bit more quickly. We do also have one of the largest internship placement programs in the Metro New York area. I believe at this point we have more internship opportunities available for our students than students to fill them, which is a bad problem to have. Our students do have to do one-on-one counseling. They have to do a resume writing workshop and an interview skills workshop before they're ever allowed onto our system. This is to ensure that you're really prepared for that interview. You know how to shake that hand, how to answer the where you see yourself in 5 years question, just to make sure that you're going out there, you're killing the interview, and you're getting the internship that you want. On average, PACE students do about 4 internships during that time at PACE. You'll see 2 of our fantastic tour guides. At the top, she interned at the Stephen Colbert Show, and at the bottom, he interned with NBC Universal. So those are just 2 really great examples of what our students are doing out there in their internship opportunities. We do offer all of our admitted students merit-based scholarships. Those merit-based scholarships are based off of the student's GPA or their GPA and their test scores if they do submit those to us. And essentially, it's the higher you have, the more you're going to get within our scholarship range. So our scholarships did range from $10,000 to $30,000 this year. On top of that, we always advise that students file their FAFSA application so that they are in line for any eligible grants or federal loans that they might be eligible for. On the screen, you can see the net price calculator and the merit scholarship estimator. And those 2 things can help you kind of estimate your package or estimate your merit scholarship that you might be eligible for. As far as our application goes, so we do take the Common App or the PACE app. We have no preference. Your official high school transcript, PACE is test optional. We have been for a little bit now. So you are welcome to submit your SAT scores or not. It's totally up to you. 2 letters of recommendation, and then your personal statement. These were this past year's deadlines. We are assuming that they're going to be very similar for the coming year. So November 1st, early decision, November 15th, and December 1st, early action, which are the non-bindings or School of the Performing Arts. Is very important that you make sure that you are looking at that particular deadline to ensure that you don't miss it, because if not, you will not be allowed to audition. And then our regular decision is February 15th. And then last but not least, here's the contact information as well as my contact information. I am your admission counselor, so definitely feel free to reach out to me if you do have any questions. I know I just threw a lot of information at you super quickly. So please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions, and thank you.
Great, thank you so much. Our next presentation this evening comes to us from Reed College.
Hello, excuse me. How's it going, everybody? My name is Varick Harris. I am one of the assistant deans of admission at Reed College. I'm also a Reed alum, and probably even more important than that today, I am a Tennessee native. I grew up in Nashville and moved out here around 6 years ago to come to Reed before getting my degree in biochemistry. So to kind of start us off, I feel like it's always important to get a sense of where Reed even is. So we're a liberal arts college. We're a small liberal arts college located in Portland, Oregon. It's not Portland, Maine, not Portland, Tennessee, Portland, Oregon. Beautiful part of this country. If you've never been, I would highly recommend it. Some might argue, I might argue, just as beautiful as Tennessee, just as many trees as you can see here, but there's also mountains instead of just, really large kind of sweeping hills. And the cool thing about Portland is that there's a lot to do outside. I know a lot of the students that I recruit from Tennessee are very much in touch with the outdoors. And as you can see, you can go skiing if you head, east, or you can go west and go to the coast. So this is a shot from a campus is kind of in the foreground, and then as you head out east, you can get to the mountain. And then this is in the other direction. Again, campus is in the foreground, and the city center of kind of downtown Portland is behind it. So it's a really nice place. It's a really easy and very accessible city to navigate. We're routinely ranked as one of the most bike-friendly cities in America, which is pretty cool. And there's tons and tons of options for students to engage in, whether it's, cultural stuff or outdoor activities, or if you're like me, you just want to eat a lot of food all the time from various cultures around the world. This is definitely the place for you. Fun fact about Reed, there are actually more trees on campus than there are people. So total undergraduate enrollment, and we are pretty much only undergraduate enrollment, but the total number, I believe, is 1,487 students. So we are definitely a small school. In terms of our average class sizes, that will usually be around 16 students in a classroom, and then our student to faculty ratio is 9:1. So this is certainly the type of place where, we want you to come, we want you to be in a very kind of collaborative and intimate learning environment. And it's definitely the type of place where like you'll have lunch or you'll have dinner with your professors and kind of build those relationships up as well. Speaking of professors and kind of moving into academics, this is Derek. Derek is one of our biology professors. He teaches cell bio, and you might have noticed I called him Derek. That is the standard at Reed. It took me a while to kind of adjust to that, especially moving from the South, but we call all of our professors here by their first name. And Derek here is with a student. Derek recently was awarded an NIH grant for his work into actin filament production, which is very important in the human body. And I definitely think, a lot of students are worried, like, can I go to a liberal arts school if I want to do research? Yes, you can. All of our science professors are actively doing research. They're all writing grants. I am a published scientific author at this point in my life, and all I have is an undergraduate degree. So definitely an option. This is a scene from one of our more humanities-based classes. So the class experience at Reed is definitely, we want the focus to be on discussion-based models. And as you can see here, it's definitely like that. I believe it's an intro humanities class that was happening. Also, another fun fact about this place, we have a nuclear reactor on campus. So if you're interested in going into physics and more, higher forms of physics research and studying, we have the only nuclear reactor that exists on a undergraduate college campus, and that is manned by undergraduate students. Here's an actual look of the reactor. It does glow blue like this naturally. It sits at the bottom of about 50 feet of water to protect its users from, radioactive harmful rays. We also have a lot of performing arts. This is a performing arts building. It's the second newest building on campus. In this building, there are 2 different theaters, there are dance rooms, and students make a lot of good use of this space. You actually don't have to be a performing arts major to engage in the arts at Reed, which is pretty fun. In terms of clubs on campus, so there's no Greek life, there's nothing like that, but we do offer a lot of clubs. This is our fire spinning troupe that's on campus. There's a radio station on campus. There's the ever popular cheese club that exists on campus. And if always, the general college saying, if a club doesn't exist, there's nothing stopping you from creating it. There's a ski cabin, which gets into, if you want to go skiing out here, Reed owns a ski cabin where any student can go and stay over the weekends. This is in our sports center. We have a rock climbing wall and a backpack co-op. So if you're into camping, you can just show up and check out anything from tents to sleeping pads. They even let students check out kayaks, and it's all completely free. And then dorms. So this is the newest dorm, this is the newest building on campus, which is Trillium. This is a common room and kitchen area. This is an example of an undivided double. So the vast majority of dorms on campus are actually divided doubles. Well, you'll have a roommate, but you have a wall and in some cases a door separating you like this. And cool, another fun fact, you can have a pet as a student. So here are all those important details and dates about applications. Feel free to send me an email. My email address is harrisb@reed.edu. And I thank you all for being here.
Great. Thank you so much, Barry. Our final presentation before we transition to Q&A comes to us from Virto Education.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. I was just stuffing my face with leftover Easter chocolate. All right. So Virto Education, we are a little bit different. We're pretty non-traditional in a lot of ways, but what we offer is first semester abroad programs. So instead of graduating high school, going straight to your university of choice and staying 4 years on campus, you can spend your first semester with Virto traveling around to different countries. After Virto, you would transfer those credits to your college of choice and still continue on that path. And let's see. All right. So Virto, our overall mission as an organization is to provide more students from all around the world with higher education and international experiences. So that shakes down into three main pillars. The first is the best first year of college. The second is admissions to a great fit school. So we actually partner with almost 60 universities nationwide. And I'll talk about that in just a sec. And then the third pillar is affordability, because obviously that's at the top of most people's minds. So the best first year of college, this can mean a lot of things to different students, just depending on who you are. When you're looking at Virto, there's a lot that goes into our semesters. We are a fully accredited college semester, but we do have a very supportive environment. Like I mentioned before, pretty non-traditional in a lot of ways. When you're looking at our semesters, we have 6 different options. 3 of them are in Europe. Those are England, Italy, and Spain. That's what we consider our on-campus semesters. And then we have 3 that are in the field. Those are in Costa Rica, Hawaii, and the South Pacific. Those are field semesters. While you're with Virto, no matter where you're going, it's going to be a pretty awesome experience. We really strive to focus on experiential learning and really helping students to connect to the communities that we're staying in, regardless of if that's in England or in a tiny village in Costa Rica. So the coursework, as I mentioned, we are fully accredited. You're earning 16 college credits. These are freshman gen ed credit, so you really get to pick and choose what you'd like to take. We are discussion based. You're in small classrooms, so you're actually with your professors and your program leaders in groups of 20 to 25 max per classroom. So there's a lot of support, both personally and academically as well. And then we have a lot of pretty awesome stuff aside from the academics. We do weave in a life skills and like college readiness seminar throughout our semesters, as well as a purpose finding workshop. So this is looking at everything from what are student loans and credit card debt to what are healthy relationships and how to set boundaries for those. So our on-campus semesters, these are the 3 in Europe that I mentioned. These are more traditional in a lot of ways. If you think study abroad, similar to that, but you're with your Virto group, you're living in a student residence with other Virto students. We're doing a lot of different excursions with our program leaders on the weekends or the evenings, but you do have that independence and freedom to sort of travel around on your own. These are some of the excursions that we're doing in London. Those on-campus semesters are going to look pretty similar all across the board, but of course you're in different countries. Our field semesters are very non-traditional, very different. So for these, you're actually staying in smaller communities, and every month you're traveling to a different location. So instead of being in big cities like England and Madrid and Milan, we're in smaller communities and more rural villages. So we're actually partnering with organizations within the field to get actual experience and like hands-on experience with what you're learning in the classroom. So great way to get a very different experience. You can pick and choose if you want to just do 1 semester with us. You can do that. If you want to do 2 semesters and make it a full year, you absolutely can. We also have a full year option. It's Change the World Honors. So these are all honors level courses. You're starting in either London or South Pacific and then ending in Costa Rica. So admissions to a great fit school. This is a very heavy part of Virto, heavy in a good way. So as I mentioned, we have almost 60 partner universities. When you apply to Virto, it's a free application. We are non-binding. We do have a 2.5 minimum GPA and we're test optional. You can apply to up to 5 of our partner colleges when you are in the application process with Virto and anytime therein. When you're looking at our partner schools, there are definitely some benefits to applying to them through Virto. You are getting a holistic application review and a quicker admissions decision. These are just a few of our partner universities. We do partner with University of Tennessee, Knoxville, so that's exciting, but we have a huge array of universities all across the states as well. We also have 27 post-Virto transfer guarantee schools. So last but not least, affordability. This is pretty important, I think, when you're looking at college tuition. So our semesters, we do aim to be as affordable, if not much more affordable than traditional four-year university tuition. So our costs range from 15 to 25,000. That does include 3 meals a day, all of the excursions, and the college, everything, of course, and your lodging. So the big ticket item not included are flights. We do accept federal financial aid. We also have institutional aid, and we accept any external scholarships as well. So if you are interested, definitely find us on Instagram. We've got a bunch of students abroad right now, so you can see what that's like in the life of a Virto student. Feel free to reach out anytime if you have any more questions. And that is all from me. Thanks, guys.
Great, thank you so much. And thank you to all of our panelists for sharing your institutions and your programs with us. At this point, we'll bring back all of our presenters as we do have just a few moments remaining for Q&A. And if you do have any questions, certainly feel free to use the Q&A widget, and I'm sure they'd be happy to answer you. But to kind of wrap things up, and we can go in the same order as our original presentations, I'd be interested in knowing what kind of a favorite event or tradition that your institution or your program offers to its students.
Oh, that's definitely a hard one, as I'm sure it is for all of us. My favorite is probably going to be orientation week. So of course we have events throughout the year, but orientation week for our new students is a particular favorite because you meet new students. And I felt like as a student, a lot of the anxiety and anticipation and maybe nerves that you have going to college kind of melts away. But we have excursions throughout the city, so it could be something that's on campus, just meeting your professors and getting to know other students, or it could be going to see a Broadway show, or again, just hanging out on a terrace, any array like that. But I think it's a really relaxing and kind of nice introduction to college. So that's probably my top pick.
I would say my favorite tradition or event on campus would be Cortica, which is our rival football game against Ithaca. I can see some people nodding. You may have heard of it. It's a pretty huge football game. We actually started playing it at MetLife Stadium, which is pretty cool. And it was the largest attended D3 collegiate game. So we broke the world record for that. It just gets all of our alumni involved, all of our students, faculty, staff, anyone that's ever heard of Cortland or Ithaca, come to the game. And all week long leading up to the game, we have different events and competitions. There's t-shirt competitions. People really go all out for Cortica. So I would say that's one of my favorite things.
Great. Well, I think I'm up next, and I'll just echo what Alyssa said about Cortica, because both of my kids participated in Cortica for many years, and they didn't go to Cortland to college, but both of their best friends did. So they spent many weekends at Cortica. So thank you for that. I'm just going to give you a fun fact about RIT. Our nickname for the campus is called Brick City. So everything that revolves around campus always has some kind of a Brick City flair in it, like homecoming week is called Brick City week or weekend. And it's because when the campus was built in 1968, the first 9 buildings were built entirely of brick, red brick. And they are so unique that we now own a patent on the mixture of the color of that brick, like only people at RET could do. And in fact, in the 70s, we were voted one of the top 10 ugliest campuses in the United States. And shortly thereafter, we hired a new president who happened to come from the University of Hawaii, where I'm sure they were not an ugly campus. And he said, we're going to change this. We're going to plant trees. Every sidewalk was at a right angle because, of course, we were in engineering school at that time. So they tore up sidewalks, they put in curves, they put in ponds, they put in shrubs, they put in trees to mix in with all of our gorgeous brick. And it's not really red, it's kind of brown. And now all of our new buildings, we've built probably 10 in the last 10 years, all are a mixture of glass and brick. But that's kind of a fun fact about RIT is we were known as one of the ugliest campuses and took great offense to it. And it's really a beautiful place now, but there's still a lot of brick.
So at PACE, we have weeks of welcome, and they're usually bunch of activities that go on, but usually they end up with Fall Fest. Now, Fall Fest on either campus can be very different. Obviously, our Rochester campus does have a little bit more space than the New York City, so they tend to have a lot of big jumbo inflatables. We do have some smaller ones that come into our courtyard, but the best part is that we do bring in food trucks from around the city. So it is free food for the students, and they definitely always take advantage of. The last one we had the fall of 2019, I think, pre-COVID. They brought in like a waffles and dinges truck and bubble tea trucks, and oh my God, which was the best. They had apple cider donuts, like fresh, hot apple cider donuts. And it was just, it's always the best and favorite event on campus because they always bring in the best food trucks for that.
Favorite tradition at Reed. There's every year, even in the midst of COVID, it's been put online, but there's this tradition called Rinfair that started a very long time ago, and it used to actually be in the style of a Renaissance festival or fair, and now it has just moved into being this huge celebration. It lasts 3 days. It starts Friday, it ends Sunday, and it's meant to be a celebration of the fact that seniors are about to graduate and have turned in this thing called the senior thesis, which is a giant research paper that you have to write in order to graduate. But it's also meant to celebrate the fact that we as a collective have made it through another year at this place, and to kind of just like give ourselves a pat on the back. But it's amazing. There's live music. There's 3 different live music venues that get put up on campus. Usually every year there's a fireworks show, which is pretty ridiculous to be like on this college campus in suburban Portland and throw a fireworks show. There's a hot pepper eating contest, which was horrifying to watch, and somehow they roped me into participating in one year. But it's great, and it's just a huge time for merriment and fun.
So with Virto, we have 6 different, I guess, campuses around the world. So I guess all of those do have their own little traditions. I think one of the coolest is for our semester in the South Pacific, when our students arrive to Fiji with our staff, they're welcomed by the local community members, and they have this traditional kava drinking ceremony. Kava is like this root. It kind of tastes like dirt, but it's really awesome. And it's just a very traditional ceremony in Fiji. And that's always like a fan favorite with our students.
Great. Thank you all for sharing your institutions and programs, as well as some of those great traditions and events with us. Thank you as well to everyone for joining us who is viewing. Just a reminder that at the end of this webinar, you'll be prompted with a brief 4-question survey, and we would appreciate any feedback that you can provide. This is just one of many sessions happening this evening, and you can register for others at strivescan.com/Tennessee, which is also where a recording of this session and all others will be posted in about a week's time. Thanks so much and have a great night.